A
We
new.
we are new. I mean, we are live, Akasha. It's a pleasure having you again.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So, how's the weather going over there? Weather been it was snowing, then cold, and now it's like in its freaking 60s.
Yes. You know what? I went out like early this rise thinking it would be burr, and it sure wasn't. I had on a hoodie and a little a real light jacket, and I kind of wish I didn't.
And then there was this guy from Louisiana talking about it was 34 degrees, and Alabama was talking about it was cold. Oh, it's like, boy, it's like it's going backwards. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Lotus Effect. As you are familiar with Akasha, and I'm Anul, we all about spirituality. Um, blessings, blessings, blessings. Joe, divine, sexy. So, I'm gonna let you start it off,
Oh,
Akasha.
me?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, welcome everyone. How are we doing today? I hope all is well. Um, After we had our last during our last podcast, a few people requested a couple of things that we talk about. I know Sexy Cherry was one, and I don't remember who the other one was. Do you remember? No,
Uh, Monica. I don't
Monica.
see her, but she
Okay.
probably is gonna watch it, so we can always talk about it later. Later.
Okay. So I guess we can start with Sexy Sherry's things that she
Yeah,
wants to talk about.
I'm looking for her questions. How you doing, sexy? Okay, she wants to know. Can you talk about the different ways to bond with and feed crystals?
Okay. Um, well, as far as your crystals are concerned, when you're saying feed crystals, are you talking about charging them, Sexy? Is that what you mean? Recharging them actually and charging them. Is that what you're talking about? I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Yes, charging. Okay. For me, and I have a plethora of crystals. I love crystals. What I do is some of the crystals you have to be careful because some of them you cannot get wet. Sometimes I may pass them through dragon's blood, incense. I may do like a quick smoke cleansing. Um, Sometimes I put them over an open flame to cleanse them. Now, when I want to recharge them, I usually put them under the moon. I get a whole bunch of, I get all my crystals, I get a cloth, and I put them on the hood of my car, actually. I make sure it's not going to rain, and I put them out there and I let the moon charge them. That's what I do for myself. That's what's worked for me for many years. How do you do yours, Anil?
And if I'm doing it, for example, if I got a rose quartz and I want to do self love on me, or I want to send love to Akasha. Akasha agreed for me to do a self love ritual for her. I would bond with it, and I would tell the crystal, because the crystal is alive. I would tell that crystal what's its job. As
Okay.
far as charging, you can charge and bring it alive with your breath, because your breath is powerful. You can charge it under the sun or the moon. You can bury it under the ground.
Um,
You can smudge.
you
I
also
don't
use
use.
you can use a selenite plate also.
Yeah, I don't sage unless spirit tells me to sage it. I would sage it. Other than that, I might use rosemary. I may cedarwood, lavender, rose, eucalyptus. There's different types of smudging besides sage. Okay,
Mhm.
and also there's different types of sage that a lot of people don't understand. But that's how I do it.
Also, when you went back to about cleansing it with sage or anything of that nature. For me, every crystal has its own property. So I do it probably a little bit different than you do because I don't tell the crystal what to do because it's their natural gift, their natural behavior of what the crystal is for me. So I won't tell the crystal what to do per se. I just grab what crystal is for the work that I'm doing at that point, whether it's for cleansing negative energy, whether it's for promoting self love, whether it's for calming down my nerves, and things of that nature. Another thing you said, well, going back to what you said about saging, that we have to be really careful about as well. And I understand why you said you speak to spirit first if they tell you to do it, because like I said, the crystal is already programmed with its natural energy of what it's meant to do. So when you sage something, you're cleansing that of all the energy, more than, more or less. So that's why you have to be careful. Usually when I get something, I may say I cleanse it of any negative pre-programmed energy. That's something I always say, I always do, even when I get my tarot or oracle decks, because people, in transit, people in production, people when they're making it, you don't know, it could be somebody, God forbid, they're having a hard life, or whatever, they're having a bad day, all that energy is poured into the like your tarot cards or anything else. So I always say I cleanse it of any pre-programmed negative energy.
Next, you said, how do you charge tarot cards? Okay, there's different types of ways. Okay, um,
I like the way
any
you do yours. Yeah.
you can cleanse it with the four elements. What is that? Fire. So over the candle. Salt. That's earth. Water. That's element, and air, which is incense. Once again, it can be palo. It can be frankincense. Okay, like I said, there's other things besides sage. Also, how do you charge it? Crystal. Okay, crystal. Putting a pile of salt around it is also a way how you can charge it. These are alive. When you consecrate it and you bond with it, especially when you sleep with it under your pillow, okay, this is yours. Everybody should have their own personal deck for you. You use it only just for you, okay? Also, they need to be covered. If you don't have a bag, if you don't have the box, that's where a crystal comes in, okay? These are open. Anytime you get done, you have to release and close the portal, because this is a divination tool. How do you bond with it? You become one. After you consecrate it, you sleep with it, it's yours. Never let no one use your tarot deck. If you do, it's no good.
Don't
Okay?
even let them touch it.
Huh?
I said, don't even let them touch it.
Yeah, if you do, then you will have to bury it under in the earth for 3 days. And if spirits say no, that's not going to work, you have to burn it. You have to give it. Everything has a life, everything has a death. You want to add anything on to that?
No, not for the Christmas. No. What I do is I introduce myself to my cards as well. I mean, of course, they, whatever spirit's coming in, they're gonna know who you are. But I introduce myself to my deck. I ask my deck, this is what I'm looking for you to bond with me personally, and I seek answers. I always introduce myself like that because, like Anil said, well, she said once it's consecrated, it's alive. But I always introduce myself and I ask and I tell it what it is that I would like it to do for me. And I always say, "Are you willing to work with me?" I've had a call, maybe a deck or two, say, I felt the negative energy, and I haven't, I got rid of those decks. But I always ask.
And plus, they will call you. Say you went somewhere or online, but it's really stronger when you go to a metaphysical store. It will actually call you.
Hmm.
Decks have to call you. Every deck you see people use is not meant for you.
You'll
And
feel it and
even
draw
though
you
it's
in.
pretty or whatever, it's because the connection will not go there. And I learned from experience. When I first started out, I was buying decks. I'm like, I can't connect with this. I can't connect with this. And then there's decks, bam, 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 bam. It's like they speak to you. Did that answer your question, Sexy Cherry? Hello, Monica. My candle's popping.
They're here.
Okay, we're gonna move on to Monica's questions. My pleasure, love. Monica wants to know, her first question was spiritual boundaries, what they are and how to effectively place them.
Spiritual boundaries. So your spiritual boundaries are lines that you do not allow another spiritual being to cross. And as you all, I'm hoping you all know, you are spiritual beings because we're all spiritual beings living in a human experience. Um, for me, you ever have that friend who calls you. You love the person, you love your friend, but every time they call, it's negative. Everything that comes out of their mouth is negative. That's where you have to definitely put up although it's your friend, you have to put up spiritual boundaries. Because what people release, we can take in, especially if we're empaths, that we can take in. So it's always good to have yourself shielded. And if the energy doesn't feel right and it feels negative, then you need to really get yourself out of there. I don't, you know, I'm in a point where I'm in my non-toxic phase. You know, if you're toxic, I need to love you from afar. I don't need you around. You know, because what comes along with toxic people and low vibrational people? What comes up with low vibrational entities. So for me, I always, have a line. If somebody is real negative, you know what? I gotta go. I'm out. We're in a time where we feel that especially if it's our good friends, and it's understandable. I've been a very loyal friend to to a few people. When I say a few, because I don't have many, I don't trust people, um, but I used to always feel bad and feel that I had to take care of everything. Oh my goodness, she's, her man hit her. All right, let me go get my bat. We gonna go jump his ass. Or, I'm really depressed. I feel this. Okay, let me go over, even though I'm not feeling well. Let me talk to her for hours. Let me do this. Let me do that. We are not meant to fix every and anybody's problems. And it's kind of like the airplane. It's like they tell you, if it's turbulence and something is happening, you always have to put your oxygen mask on first, because then you can help others. You always got to make sure you put yourself first. And that's one of my main things when it comes to spiritual boundaries. They're going to be okay, you know God willing, they'll be fine, but you have to take care of you. And with all that's happening and with all that has been released here, on earth, it is, how can I say this? I'm trying to think of the word. It's very important that you take care of you. It's very important that you have boundaries, in order. And I'm talking about friends. I'm even talking about your blood, your family. It doesn't matter. You have to have boundaries set. And if they cross that boundary, then you have a huge decision to make. you know um because when people talk to you constantly and it's negative and it's toxic, that is seeds being planted on you, and in you. And this is why you have to be really cautious. For me, I walk around constantly with a huge shield around myself, and an army, a huge army around me, because I have to protect myself at all times. And for me, that's how I put my spiritual boundaries in place. You know, Anul and I will talk sometimes, and we may shoot each other a couple of questions and send a picture. And before we send each other anything, we always say, "Is it okay if I send you, an image, heads up?" And you know, she'll act spirit or I'll act spirit. And if they're like, "No, you can't look at it," that's the boundary that's been set. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be able to look at that. And that's what it is, and me as her, I have to respect that, and vice versa. What do you have to add to that? Do you have
As
anything to add to that?
empaths, there's empaths and there's light workers. Basically, it's the same thing, but it's a little different. Okay. A light worker knows what's theirs and what's not. Okay. An empath, you're so sensitive that you want to help everybody to the point you literally drain yourself helping them.
which is me.
Yeah, and
Was me.
sometimes you're carrying on things that you're not supposed to, that you're not. So when you hear people talking about, and there's several different types of impacts, okay? But you hear people talking about call your power back, call your energy, especially conscious people that's doing consciously and unconsciously, because some people actually don't know they're doing it.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm not making no excuse, but some people don't. You have to start saying no. You have to start changing the subject. If all of a sudden you start yawning, all of a sudden you doing this, all of a sudden you not happy anymore, that's flags.
You have to
That is
rebuke that
flags.
energy.
So
Hmm.
setting spiritual boundaries like this is my time, please respect that. Okay? When you are doing readings or you healing somebody and you're not feeling good, you have to say I cannot help you because I'm not at my best to help you. Because anytime you do that, you transmute that into that person or any item that you're doing. Also, when you setting spiritual boundaries, you have to set it personal and spirit. Okay, there's personal, which is with people. You also have to set it with spirits. Sometimes you have to tell your ancestors, this is not the time. I have to do this. We meet at this time. Okay, you have to set boundaries because they drain you as well. Anytime you are a healer, you need zinc, you need magnesium, you need potassium, you need vitamin C because it drains your life force. So you have to set personal and spiritual. And you have to realize, even though you have a big heart, everyone is not your assignment. You also got to stop interfering with their karma. Some people, that's their karma not to be healed. That's their karma to be in that predicament that they are in. So you have to really start asking before you read, heal, or anyone. That's part of divination. Did that answer your question, Monica, before we go to the next one? Hello, Tamara. All right. The second question is coping with loneliness on a spiritual path. You want
Well, for
to?
me, this might be better suited for you because for me, I'm used to being a lone wolf. I'm used to, being solo. Although that when you're on your spiritual path, I will say it could be lonely in a sense where not too many people will be able to relate to you, or you may be so up there, on a different level where to a few you may sound like you're typically insane, like you're losing your mind. Um, but I like being to myself. I enjoy my own company, but I'm also a medium, so I see. So right now, I know my child's probably in the living room with his girlfriend. I'm in my room, but I'm not in my room solo because I have a lot of spirits in my room, in my bedroom, but I see them. So regardless of what, for me, I'm never alone. But I will tell you that even if you cannot, you don't have the gift of sight, spiritual sight. Let me change that. Um, they're still with you. You know, your spirit guides, they walk with you. Your ancestors, they walk with you. And whomever is in your spiritual court, they walk with you. So you're never by yourself. Um, I will say that it changed more so for me when I started following my spiritual path, where how can I say this? Where I have a better understanding of the seen and the unseen. I have a better understanding of when someone passes away from this physical realm, that's not final. Um, So for me, I want to say it's a bit different. Now, for the vast amount of people, for them, it can be lonely because they don't have anyone to really talk to or get, a full explanation. They may be closeted, meaning, their family doesn't really know the path that they're trying to walk.
That's my side.
Yeah.
So I
Where
mean,
their family might not know, or their family may look down upon the path that they've chosen. Um, so it could be lonely in that sense. But once you really understand spirit, once you understand God, once you build a relationship, you'll start to learn that you're truly not alone. And I will say that's what's um, gotten me through a lot of things when I stepped into my spiritual path. Like, I lost my mother, 2 years ago, I lost my father. Um, and it was real hard, but it was a bit different for me with my mother and my father, because my mom wasn't, she didn't really grow me up, put it that way. But for my father, he was a constant pillar in my life. So when he passed, it was insane, because it's like I was seeing him, they showed me his actual death. I was seeing so many different things, and then that was traumatic. And thank heavens for Anu, because she really um s- you know stuck by me and helped me through that grieving process. But what a blessing it was when I was able to see him. What a blessing it is when I know when he steps into my room, or my mother steps in. A lot of times, even when I'm doing my healings, when I'm, a lot, especially when I'm doing an exorcism, and I call on my team, but I always call on my mother and my father, one to my left, one to my right. And I feel when they come in, they put their hands on my shoulder, you know, and that is another thing for me. Well, you know, even though I like to watch TV by myself, and I love my king size bed that I sleep in by myself, because when I'm rolling, I'm not knocking into nobody. I may go through a couple spirits, but I'm not knocking into anybody. But what a blessing it is to know that I'm truly not alone. And for me, that's why I said, for me, it's probably be a little bit different, you know.
for me, I knew I was different at 5. 5 years old, it started really coming in. I was raised apostolic, okay, but during the Gen X time, there was a lot of busing, so I had to go to a Catholic school because my mother didn't want me to go too far out where she wasn't able to get me. So I'm apostolic, going to a Catholic school. Got me all messed up because I'm in Sunday school doing this, and they like, we're not Catholic, hon. So it's all twisted. But as I get more, I always question. And my mom will always say, you never question God. And I said, if I don't question God, how am I going to know the answer? So I always knew I was different, but my mother never really put me down. She just said, we're not going to discuss that, and we're not going to discuss that. So as I gotten older, I also lost my mother and father. Um, I'm sorry because this is her death anniversary coming up. We buried her on Christmas Eve. It never get easy. But after I lost my mom, 5 months later I lost my dad. So it was kind of rough. I was trying to talk to in my family, my brothers and sisters are pastors and deacons. So I would try to talk to him because it kept getting, it's like my mom's death traumatized me, and that jump started it. And then 5 months later, here come my father. So it's like, okay, I'm up here having these things. My sisters and them like, I plead the blood of Jesus on you. You need to get baptized. That's the devil. And I'm like, they thought what I was doing was evil. So yes, I felt alone because I always questioned it. They never understood me, and so it is lonely. This path is lonely. It is because you choose the path less traveled. People are going to leave you. People going to say you crazy. You need to go get help. But honestly, you're not alone because during this time, as I was coming, I talked to my mom, and my mom was like, I understand because I'm on the other side. Before she transitioned, she would tell me things about her side, And my father would tell me stories about their side, but they went to church because they didn't want to fight it. Both of them were spiritual, but they didn't want, they was fighting it, so they went to church. So it's like they never wanted to bring it up. But every now and then they would say things. But now that they're on the underside, I'm starting to see. And once again, Akasha helped me because she would say, your mother's proud of you. Don't stop. You are that country. You know, that other person made that country look bad. You are that country. So it's like now that I feel much better that my mom and dad helped me, you know, and understand, because before I was the black sheep, everything. They couldn't understand why I said my grandmother's getting ready to die. My mom's mom. I told my mom the dream, and she always say, eat before you say a dream. So basically, in your family, y'all are doing spiritual things. They just said that's just part of the tradition. You know, like I said, black eyed peas, doing laundry before New Year's come in. All that goes back into hoodoo, voodoo type of ways. But I foreseen my grandmother die, and the day before my grandmother died, I said, Big Mama, I said, you need to forgive Mom. And Mom, you need to forgive Big Mama because she's not going to be up in the morning. And then my mother said, don't say that, you know. And but my grandmother looked at me like she knew, you know. And the next morning, my mom went in there to give my grandmother her medicine, and my grandmother was dead. And my mom just looked at me weird, and she's like, nothing. So I had to go talk to the bishop. And the bishop said that child got a calling on her head. So that the bishop knew that I was special, I was different. But everybody else, sometimes they are afraid of that. Okay. So when you fear something, they attack it. They want to say it's evil. You know, people fear what they don't understand. But this lonely path is very lonely, Monica. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. But the ones you lose wasn't meant for you. And the ones you gain is meant for you. So it is lonely, but it's worth it because you took this job, this position to help heal humanity, to help do and fulfill your prophecy. You didn't come here to get all cozy. That's why just about everybody that's on their spiritual path, there's always something happening. You either can't keep a job, or you can't keep a successful relationship. It's always something because you're getting too comfortable. That's a reminder to tell you, you will get rewarded once you fulfill your prophecy. Is that answering your question, Monica? Are you here, Akasha?
I'm here.
Okay, it's like everything went quiet. I was like, Lord.
I muted myself for background sounds while you were talking.
Oh, okay. Any other questions for us? It ain't easy. I ain't gonna lie. There's days when I say, Kasha, man, I need to have a human experience with you. And she say, I'm listening. And sometimes, and the other days she do it to me. You know, I might say, hey, Purple, you got an ear? Can you lend me your ear? It's not easy to talk to people that don't understand you, you know? Um, because I have to say, is this my ego? This my ego. Tell me, because I'm doing an ego check. Sometimes your ego can get in the way. Because I definitely say, is this my ego, Akasha? Because I'm like, and then she said, just a little bit, you know? So it's like everyone has to get a reality check, you know? We all are human. We all going to have a human experience, you know?
And I
Because
will
it is
say
a
that
lot.
and I will say that your tribe is out there, Monica. You know, your tribe is definitely out there. We all have a tribe.
Girl, it's a white bunny rabbit jumping around. I'm like, where did that come from? I'm sorry.
It's late for a very important date.
Alice in Wonderland.
Does anybody have anything that they would like to ask? Anything they want us to elaborate on? This is all about spirituality. So whatever it is that you want to ask away. TT says somebody loves you.
Ha 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 ha. It's funny. If y'all ever want to get a reading by Akasha, I'm going to forewarn you. It's accurate. She said, your mediumship is going to get stronger. I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I already know. Boy, I told her, I'm seeing animals in my room. They jumping on my bed. And it's like freaking me out. And she said, I told you. She does readings also. She does automatic writing readings. Sitting with my team has been a slow burn for me. What's the best way to get to know them better and improve my relationship with them?
Oh
They are
wow.
you. They are you, Monica. Okay. I'm gonna tell you how my padrino told me. Cause I told him, I said, some spirits in my court, they kind of sassy and got an attitude. And he said, they are the embodiment of you. That's why they in you. So by sitting to get to know them is sitting to getting to know you, Monica. Okay, so if you give them a headache, they're gonna give you a headache. If you come to them talking about you fighting against what they say, they're gonna fight against you. It's like a mirror. They mimic you. You mimic them. You are your ancestors. You are your spiritual team. When
Mm.
they say you are a child of mm, each child has like say the mother or father of your head. Okay, like Shango. Say he's the son of Shango. Shango is a womanizer. Shango likes to flirt. Shango has a temper. uh Shango is a lot of characteristics. So the sons and daughters of Shangos will have his same characteristics because they are in the embodiment of Shango. It's like it's all in there. If that makes sense to you, can you want to elaborate a little bit?
Also, Monica, for me, what I do, I know you said sitting with my team has been a slow burn for me. What's the best way to get to know them better and improve my relationship with them? Um, Monica, meditation. Go into meditation. Make sure it's your quiet spot, sacred spot. Make sure it's cleansed. Sit down. Take 3 deep breaths. Try to clear your head and call them in. Call them in and let them know I'm here. I come to you. I really, I want to build a relationship, and just keep saying that in your head and close your eyes. They will start to come to you, you know. And as they come to you one by one, you'll start feeling the different shifts in energy, and you'll start to know. There's going to be a time where you're going to walk in. You're going to be someplace, and you're going to feel when they step in, and you're going to know exactly who it is. But I would say meditation. Another thing you can do is you can before you rest at night, before you lay your head down, you can talk to them and ask them to come please and meet you in the spiritual realm. You can do that as well, and in your dream, you know do that for 7 days straight, and I guarantee you they will come to you in your dream, and they will, you'll talk to them. Sometimes, like for me, they've come to me in different shapes and forms, but like she said, it's an embodiment of you. um Spirits, if it's not an ancestor, like let's say a grandmother that passed away, that you know how they look. But let's say, I'm going to throw Oya or Isis out there. They may come to you in the way that you know them, how you, because you may see them in a different light than I do. But I would definitely call them in before you lay your head to rest at night. Petition for what it is that you want, and it will come to you. Make sure you're very clear on what it is that you want through this visit, because remember, there's no gray, there's only black and white. But call them in before you rest. You can even write a petition and put it under your pillow. There's different ways that you can do it, but meditation and dream work before you go to bed. Um, you can also give offerings. You said sitting with your team, so you should probably already know who who's in your spiritual team. Um, so you can start doing some offerings as well to them. Does that clarify everything for you, Monica?
And also saying instead of I, we. There's no I. You got to say we. We need
Okay,
to get to know each other. We need to do this. We going this way. We. You got to say we, not I.
exactly. Joe, are parasites a part of black magic or a hex or curses?
Yes.
Um,
Oh.
okay, now, Joe, there's different parasites. Are you talking about a spiritual parasite or an actual parasite, like worms or something in the, of that aspect? I just need you to be a little more specific. I'm thinking she means just like regular parasites.
Like I said, it can be both because there is spiritual parasites and then there's the part
Just
that's regular
yeah.
parasites. But sometimes if they trying to block you, say you very strong and clear audience and they don't want you to hear from your spirit team or spirit period, they will send a parasite to clog up your ears. And that's why you be like, ooh, something I can't hear. Is like you, they will do that. They also can say they don't like you and they don't want you to have children, so they'll go get a puppet, effigy, uh, a voodoo doll, and put a worm or put maggots in it and make you have it in your stomach. So yes and no, it goes both ways, love. Majority times,
Gypsy.
all Americans they not deworm. Any Caribbean foreign country, their doctors give them when the baby's born dewormed. Everybody's dewormed. Americans that I know of, you know, are not dewormed. So you're supposed to deworm yourself because you pick up parasites from your mother. You pick up parasites from meat, vegetables, different things. Sometimes it's in the water. Okay. So Americans are not dewormed. So you need to deworm yourself. Paragard is a good one to do if you can't go to the Jamaicans know what they're doing. If you go to a
You,
Bushman or a Rasta, okay, or
yeah, you could drink Cenapod tea. You can get Dr. Dewitt's worm syrup. That'll cleanse you out. You can eat papaya seeds. I would start with maybe 3 or 4 a day. Don't go too heavy. People start with an actual teaspoon. But there's things you can do. The papaya seeds, they're like magnetic, so they tend to attach to them, and then when you use the restroom, you excrete it out of your, you excrete it out of yourself. Woo, that was something that was hard to get out. So there's different things that you can do. I'm from the West Indies, so worm medicine. We call it a flush out. You get it every time before you start school. From all the junk and stuff you was doing over the summer and things like that.
coconut
But
water. So
pardon?
I said she needs to drink coconut water.
She can drink. Yeah, I mean, coconut water is
No,
good.
not for that. I'm just saying I just heard she needs coconut water. So that was just a personal thing that I heard.
Oh, okay. Gypsy Sea Witch Tarot. I feel like when I wasn't honoring my spirits, they were talking to me more. Now, not so much. Or has the way they talk to me changed? Gypsy Witch Tarot. Well, I will tell you what, if you're Gypsy Witch Tarot, that means you definitely know how to divine. So you can ask them. I would ask them. If you're good with a pendulum, you can start out with a pendulum and see what it is that they're saying. So you just plain yes or no. Are you still with me? You'll know if, they're definitely with you because they're not going to leave you. But you ask them that. Um, Ask them, am I doing something wrong? You can pull cards. Uh, if you do automatic writing, you can ask one of them to, I don't know how you feel. They step into me a lot. I don't know how you feel about spirits stepping into you, but they can step in and they can take over an automatic write and let you know. A lot of times when some people, they're not doing what it is that they need to do spirit wise, they'll be like, hello, we're still here, what's going on, stay on top of your game, so that's why I feel like they'll pop up for me, they'll like pull my sheets off of me or something like that. um but it's to remind you, like, you got a path, you got to stay on it, stop slacking, we still here, kind of thing. And then when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, maybe they don't have much to say right now, because maybe you're just in your calm era, maybe you're doing everything right. But
Yeah,
well, I'm picking up something else from Witch Tarot.
go ahead.
um you need to really cleanse your space where you are. You need to open your windows and you need to cleanse your entire space. And when you're cleansing your space, cleanse your space of any wanted, unwanted, any negative energy that's in your house. You need to cleanse where you are. Um, they're there, but it's a form of, there's a block around you. There's a
That's what I
blockage
was
around.
going to say, but you, it
Yeah.
was
You have a block around you, so that's what it is. They are there, but you need to cleanse. So you need to cleanse your home first and foremost. When you're done cleansing your home, that's when um you need to cleanse your vessel. You meaning your body. Okay? You need a head wash and you need a body wash as well. A full cleansing. Okay? You have anything to
no,
pick
because I
up?
was going ready to say that, and then you said something's coming in, so I said go ahead because that's what I was going to say. I heard block.
Yeah, they showed me.
There, there's a lot of haters, especially on this spiritual journey. You will get a lot of haters. Some of them they can't they can block it where you're not getting nothing. Okay. And then they'll go around saying they took it. But sometimes they can't take it. They think they took it. All they did was block it. And then there's some that can take it. But if they take it, it's not going to work for them. It's going to go delulu. But basically, also, you got to call your soul back to your body, Gypsy. You got to call your soul back to your body. First time you awaken and when you go to bed, you need to call it back. The way I had to do it, I'm not telling you this. This is how I had to do it. I had to go inside the cemetery and call my soul back. But I'm not telling you to do that. That's the way I had to do it. Everybody's different. But when I did that, I felt the change and everything was open. I knew how to protect myself. So when you do go to the cemetery, you have to follow the rules of the natural world, human world, and the rules of the spiritual world, as above, so below. You said actual. I don't understand, Joe. You said actual.
I think she's talking about not. I think she means it's not spiritual parasites. She meant actual parasites, like on the earthly realm, like worms and things of that nature. I believe that's what Joe's talking about.
Okay, and also, if you got stray dogs that poop in the yard, you know, and you walking in the grass barefoot, you can get parasites that way too. Just to let you know.
Well, everyone has parasites.
No, I know, but
Also,
I'm just saying there's another. That's another way.
oh yeah.
Hello, Jen. How are you? Any questions, guys? I know Jeopardy.
Does anyone have another spiritual question that they would like to ask? I see the rose wiltering away.
Not everybody answer all at once, please. No.
I think it also goes really slow.
I was told not to go to wakes or funerals because I could get a bad spirit attached to me. Uh, yes. But if you go by protection and follow all the spiritual rules, They can't. Um, you have to have your head covered. Okay, that's one thing. Um, Also, once again, this is how I was taught. Okay, never wear black to a funeral because when you wear black to the funeral, you are attracting death to you. You wear white or you wear any other light color coats. But like I said, that's how I was taught. Everybody to each one teach one. But you have to cover your head. You have to carry nutmeg. It looks like a walnut, but it's not a walnut nut. And you carry it in there, okay? Keep you a small bottle of some type of Florida water in a small bottle you spray on you. Okay, and you know the day of that you get ready to go to a wake or funeral. Make sure you put salt outside your front door or sulfur. Okay. When you actually step into the cemetery or graveyard, everybody don't know what you have to do, but make sure you put the money down there. You can leave 3 pennies. Okay. Some candy. There's rules. The owner, one of the owners of the graveyard is Papa Gade. Okay. Gade is means dead in Creole. So Papa Gade. You got anything?
Hmm?
You have anything for that?
Um, Honestly, I wear black when I go to the funeral. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything to me. Um, but I will say, like, people look into it in a different way once you step into spirituality. Because before people stepped into this, they're called path. Some people just wore black to funerals. It's a staple kind of to wear black
That's why I
because
said
you're supposed to be. Everybody's different. Yes, you're supposed to be in mourning. Um, However, this is where it gets a little different because you're either mourning or you're celebrating the life that the person had. Um, for me, I do wear black, but there's a couple times where spirit has told me to not go to that specific funeral. Um, but I keep my if I don't keep my hair covered because I might not, I definitely make sure I have a huge shield around myself. And the team that I walk with is a very strong team. Um, Especially when my angels are around. When my angels are around, their wings are up and their wings cover me. So I'm always set in that aspect. We are all also born into this realm with an assigned archangel, which Anul. If anybody wants to get a reading from her and find out who it is, I'm sure she'll do that for you. That you're assigned to, so you can always call them in to ask them wings up to please protect you. But I do go because think about it. If we all didn't go to wakes and funerals, no one would be celebrated in that sense. It'd be a lonely wake. It'll be a lonely funeral because a bad spirit can attach themselves to you. But I feel it's also more so because, like we said before, when you're low vibrational, more than likely when you're going, you're mourning the person that passed. You're sad, and it's easy for entities to attach to you. But guess what? They can attach to you when you're by yourself as well. You know.
that's why I said how I was taught. That's why I put that in there,
No,
because
I know. And I
everybody,
said everyone's different. I
yeah.
understand. You
Um,
did say that. Um,
Dream said,
Now, go ahead.
"Go." I'm sorry. Go.
No, you said Dream said. Let's go ahead.
Dream said,
Continue.
if the people that hate me, they go after my daughter. What should I have her to do? Have her to do, girl. Your writing skills. So if someone's hating on you, and they go after your daughter, how can your daughter protect herself more? Um, if your daughter don't know how, it also on the age, you are the intercessor. You step in and you do it. If she's of the age and she knows how to do it, the both of y'all together can put up wards and other precautions to protect her. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, you can petition for your child. Petition for your child. You can you know, for us, my kids, you can put a red knotted bracelet on their left hand. There's things you can enchant. You can enchant an amulet, any piece of jewelry, a chain, a bracelet. You can go to the Botanica and get one, and then you put your energy over it. Um, you can call Archangel Michael and ask him every time your daughter leaves or whatever have you. Ask him to please guard and to please protect her, and everything else that Anul said to do. For your daughter as well, if someone is with you, how they throw things at you and they want to hurt your daughter, you can also speak to Anul as far as getting a servitor for your daughter. So anything, any hits don't eat your daughter will go on to the servitor, the poppet instead. So that's my suggestion for you as far as your daughter is concerned. But Dream sounds she's spiritual. You can protect your daughter
That's
yourself.
why I said
You can put a strong shield over her.
you're the intercessor.
Put a strong shield over her. Because they're showing me right now you carry a blue light.
Talk to Lilith. Talk to Lilith.
I'm so late. Hi, Lee Love. She said I'm so late. Monica, outside of shadow work, what are some additional ways to overcome ego? Ooh. Um being humble. Understanding that it's more it's more to the universe than it is to you. Understanding that you're not the only one. Um Understanding that you are a spiritual being and a human living a human experience, but you still are human. Um Not watching what other people are doing, not comparing yourself to other people. Um Looking at things you can do to better yourself as a person, knowing that your gift and what it is that you're doing is called being of service. You are a server to the universe, basically. Understanding the role that you play. That is the biggest thing I feel when it comes to ego. Understanding that everyone's walk is different than yours. Understand that everyone has certain gifts that you might not possess, and vice versa. Understanding that you're special in your own way, not comparing. And, you know, you said outside of shadow work, but shadow work plays a big thing because shadow work will show us um, our strong sites as well as our weak ones. So I would say always working on to being a better person and not comparing, because I feel when we compare, that's when not feel I know that's when our ego can take over. Well, um, I wish nothing but the best for everybody. Why does she have everything and why I don't have everything? I'm better than she is. That's the ego. You're comparing. So I will say stepping into other people's shoes, looking through other people's eyes, and not comparing yourself. Aside from shadow work, I think that is a huge way to overcome your ego.
Saying affirmations. I am powerful. I am undefeated. I am
But that's ego. But that's ego. When you're saying your power, that's your ego.
I don't, in a way, I don't think it is because she's boosting herself up. Because I do have, everyone has ego problems, but every day I say, I am powerful. I am that I am. That's
Hmm.
boosting me up, but I don't compare. So if I'm not comparing, I'm not competing. So I can say, I am powerful. Monica's
Okay.
powerful too. You're powerful too. So in that way, I'm not saying that's part of ego. Because if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't boost yourself up, who's going to do it? So she has to be her own uh, cheerleader. But if she's like, oh, I can't stand a Newell because of this, then that's like a jealousy evil thing.
Yeah, because the ego is a person's self-esteem or their self-importance.
Right,
That's
because
what
I
ego
know
is.
I'm powerful, and I still say Akasha's powerful because I
Yeah.
give it to both.
Yeah,
So
but that is also, and I understand, but that is also not that it's a bad part, because we do need some form of ego, believe it or not. We can't diminish full ego, um, even though some people do. But ego is, when they saying self-esteem, importance, that's a boost to your ego. That's the actual meaning of ego. So what you're saying is a proper form of ego, because you want to keep yourself uplifted, and you want to speak life into yourself. But that is also ego. Not negative ego, but it's also ego.
the nuance that you don't want to have, Monica, is hurting yourself or hurting someone else. That's like really bad ego. Or if you're not getting married and say your neighbor, y'all best friend, she gets married before you, and then you be like, dang, what I look better than her. That's like an ego. That's when you would have to say, I'm happy for you, like Akasha said, and yours is coming. So there's good ego and bad ego.
My ego gets loud when I'm afraid. Words and affirmations of safety do help. Well, keep doing them, Monica.
Okay, I'm off.
Right.
Okay. Are there any pointers for little on me? That's like a reading, Divine S. That's not basically, I mean, it's a question, but that's like going into a reading. And I personally not tapping in. But I'm not going to tap in. But that's like a personal reading. If you want to know if there's any pointers for little you, you can book a reading with Akasha or myself. But that's not really a question. That's like uh tapping in type of question. I just feel like I'm on the right path, but stuck. Tamika, I'm in a.
I mean, it's-
I'm in a. Go ahead. I don't got my glasses on.
um, I, I just feel like I'm on the right path, but stuck. I'm in a space where I don't really want to be around people anymore. It's a lot trying to transition. What that is, Tamiko, is that you are in your elevation stage. You are elevating. So you're vibrating on a different level. When you are elevating and ascending, not everybody's gonna, not everybody is meant to be with you, on that, on that elevation.
555.
Um, Asheo. Not everyone can understand you when you're vibing high. So it's not necessarily that you're stuck. It's just that it's harder for people that are lower vibrational to to communicate with you, to understand, and you for vice versa. So it's kind of like you're elevating, you're up, you're getting to another, and you're getting to another level. What they're showing me is you're transcending out of 3D.
And
That's
that
what it is.
and that goes back to the beginning of the podcast. That why do you feel alone? That's one reason, because you misunderstood. You feel like don't nobody want to be bothered with you. Communication problems. So that's goes back to earlier.
Did that answer your question, Tomika?
This is awesome. We love the questions, honestly, because we ain't never had this many questions. So
It's true.
get the questions up. I mean, we here to help. Each one teach one. You know. Kashif. Oh, girl, can you read that?
How do you hear your ancestors more louder? Like I hear them, but it's like in a form of, what? It's from a distance. Okay. Sit with them. Sit with them and ask them, can you please speak louder? That's what I do. If they're trying to whisper something, I'll be like, I don't like the whisper and it mess with my ears. What, I can't hear you. What are you saying? Just ask them to talk louder to you.
What I do, if it's like angels or the ascended masters,
And he said ancestor. Yeah. Okay,
I
go
know.
ahead.
I'm just saying what I do. I say your servant is listening, and I just sit. I just sit, and sometimes you'll feel. Sometimes they don't want to talk. You might smell something. Okay, you don't always have to hear. Or if they say, I can't hear you, show me in my mind's eye. And it goes with your ancestors too. Sometimes your ancestors are radiating out a low vibration because you're not feeding them. They need energy. Okay. Sometimes when a ancestor comes through really strong, they took all their energy to push through. So if you're not regularly lighting a candle, or you're not regularly pouring libations, you're not regularly taking one day that, like, say if you was born on a Wednesday and you get off work at 5 o'clock and you do whatever you got to do before you go to bed, you sit with them. If you was born on a Wednesday, if you born on a Sunday, sitting with them, burning that candle. It can be a tea light, water, coffee. They need energy. That's one reason why they said venerate and pour libations, because it's energy. So if they don't have the energy, are you going to hear? Okay.
That was a great explanation. Absolutely. How do you find your purpose here on earth? Jen Mendez.
I'm sorry.
Jen Mendez.
Can you ask Spirit to put my glasses back? Never mind. It's my fairies. I'll do it. Can y'all please stop doing that?
How do you find your purpose here on earth? Uh, if you don't divine yourself, if you don't divine yourself, you can get a reading. Definitely get a reading. You can reach out to Anul and set up something, but you can get a reading from her. If you want to try something on your own, you can meditate. You know, ask your spirit guides to please introduce themselves and step forward. Um, and
Um,
just I would start with meditation. I would
from
definitely start with meditation, and I would start with asking questions. You don't have to be a witch to get answers. You can start with something like that, and then you can move on to a full divination with a reader. Oh, okay. I was talking as far as meditation.
any tips?
That was divine. As
Um,
she asked about little old me, right?
yeah, tips. Okay. This might not work for everybody. When you breathe, just breathe. Okay. Don't really focus on, all that. Okay. Just breathe like you normally, deep breath, release. Okay. Take your eyes, when you close your eyes, just try to focus if you can hear. Start seeing 10, 9, 8, 7. Just start seeing the changes in your mind eye. If you cannot see that change, okay, then count from 100 all the way down, and then as soon as you get to like 50, you already calm. But when you meditate, you cannot have no distraction. So if you have children, let them be asleep, not TV on. Okay, because that's going to distract you. If you go outside on your break, another form of meditation is sitting in silence and try to pick up everything you can hear, and then it will go inward. Okay, sometimes y'all trying too hard because you have the TV going on, you have the kids up there fighting, your husband or your baby daddy doing something on the phone arguing about a game. You have to be in complete silence. You can do it while you're taking a shower, you can do it while you're dropping the kids off at the pool. If you know, you know. So
Yeah.
it's like you have to. I put it that way. I
Oh,
apologize. It's like you have to. And if you are a peeping Tom, you can go to Dollar Tree and get those things and put on. But it's like just calming. So try. If you see the number 10 in your mind's eye, then it changed to 9, then 8. It'll calm you down. Then your second one, when you get to 0, you just breathe and you just listen. Okay. Sometimes they just want you to listen.
and another thing you could do to just calm yourself, definitely as she said, you'd like a quiet place, a cleansed place, preferably and quiet. But start listening. Every time I used to go into meditation, I used to think about chicken. I don't even know why. It's not my favorite thing. I would just think about chicken. When I say chicken, I'm talking Popeyes, KFC, Bojangles. Everything was just stew chicken, curry chicken, everything was chicken. And I used to get so mad. But what I started doing, Divine, is I started to listen to my heart. So when I close my eyes, I tune in inward and I listen to my heartbeat, and I just listen to my heartbeat, and it becomes the intensity becomes stronger to the point where I can even start to feel my blood running through my veins. And then you drift off. So she said, I want chicken now. But I would say definitely, um, you should try listening to your heart as well. That's another thing. And
And
Anul is the one who helped me a lot with my meditation because, child, it was me and the Colonel. It was real rough with this chicken stuff, and she really helped me through it. So you can also reach out to her for more in-depth pointers.
when thoughts come up, positive and negative, you honor it. Like, yeah, I acknowledge you. I acknowledge you. So you acknowledging it, okay? So, or once again, you start off in meditation, you just sit. And whatever's racing through your mind, whatever you hear, when you wake up, you journal it. 10 days to empty it out. When you go back again, it's going to be much quieter. Okay. But you always acknowledge the positive and the negative.
Just let it flow.
Mhm.
Just
Uh,
let it flow. When you have blockages, can you still get the spiritual job done?
mm, it won't be as effective.
Mm-hmm. Won't be as effective. Won't be as strong, which is the same thing as being effective, I'm guessing. Um, there's some things that you can do and you can get done, but anything that you do spiritually, you want to make sure you're at your
Best.
best, your best. So I would suggest watching what you tap into and watching what you put your energy onto with these blockages, because these blockages aren't blockages like self sabotage. This is um, things being sent to you from other people. It's a lot of jealousy, a lot of envy around you. So it's other people. Um, Also, someone you think is very, someone that's close to you is not close to you for the right reasons.
I told you that, gypsy witch. I told you.
So they'll smile in your face, but it's a whole nother thing. And that you have to be careful of. So it's like the constant evil eye is over you. So definitely cleanse yourself, definitely cleanse yourself. I would suggest probably just to see what type of blockages it is. If you don't get a divination done yet by someone, do an egg cleanse and crack it and see what you see in there. You can do that, or you can burn a black candle, and after it's burnt out, read your glass. They'll show you. I want fried chicken now. Child, TT, so do I. Shoot. Well, I don't want fried chicken. I could actually go for some stew chicken right now.
Mhm.
Yes, I think about all the last conversation I had or just random stuff. Well, girl, at least you're not thinking about chicken. TT, acknowledging the thoughts helps because when you try to ignore them, they keep popping up. Absolutely. Right on point with that one. Anybody have any other questions? Anul, I don't know what you feel, but maybe like for our next podcast, maybe we can ask everyone to just write down a couple of questions, and when we come on next time, it's a Q&A.
Okay. Y'all
I
heard
mean,
her.
I don't know. I think that'll sound good. So 3, 4 questions, hell, 5 questions, whatever it is. Write it down so when we come back on, it'll just be a Q&A session. I think that'll be pretty good so everyone can get their things out there and what they want. But make sure you
Oh,
understand questions is completely different from divination, because you have a couple people there that
you see that?
it could go left real quick.
It looked like a chameleon. What it look like to you? It looked like a little chameleon.
What?
This in my hand.
Oh, I was looking at the thing.
See how the eye looks like a chameleon. The gecko chameleon lizard. Something. But hello, Rob. So we went past our hour and 8 minutes. So like she said, write down 3 or 4 questions that you want for us, and we will answer them. I've been seeing reflections of rainbows. What does that mean?
You're starting to learn. You're starting to see energy, Laura Bay. You're
My
starting to see energy. My
my
return to sender candle broke at the end before it went out today. Thank you all.
Because whoever's throwing you stuff they know what they're doing, Gypsy.
Yes, and
They know what they're doing.
another thing, Gypsy. This might sound a little weird, but
You know.
start wearing something the opposite way. Um, it may. I don't know if you can use, maybe your panties. If it's not like those little G-string looking things. Um, turn it up, turn it, turn it. You could turn it inside out, but you can also turn it
Oh,
something backwards. What?
I'm visual, and I had to get that out of my head. That's why I went.
Oh, the G string in the
Oh
child. That
yeah. Mm-hmm.
that'll mess up your cookie dish. Don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that. Um,
Um.
I would definitely do that.
Yeah,
I
cause
would put, and another thing is you can envision yourself, and put a mirror barrier around yourself. You know how we put up a shield? You can put mirrors around yourself as a shield. You do it in your mind's eye. So anything that's thrown to you will bounce right back off onto that person. And if you like, you could put, 10 times, 10 times fold. It'll go to them stronger. But I would suggest, especially because the person that's around you,
that's why
yeah,
I said when I blew out my smoke, the little thing I asked in my mind, they showed me it's someone that don't. It wants to make you sick, where you lose everything. So this person is not jealous. This person is very envious of you. Envious energy is more deadly than jealous energy, Gypsy. So when it broke, she knows what she's doing. It is a she. She knows what she's doing.
absolutely. Now remember, Gypsy, don't wear that thong the other way though,
Oh, there.
right? Because we're gonna have a whole different conversation next week.
Ee. Okay, once again, thank you. I can't believe people are so nasty. You have taught me so much. Yikes. People are evil, girl. People are evil. People
Really
are so
evil.
power hungry. They were sacrificed their own family to get it. And then once they get that power, they still hungry for more power.
This
That's
is
just
a
how it is.
this is a wicked world we live in. Wicked. So I leave you guys with saying, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Nobody needs to know everything about you. Move in silence. I live with the enemies.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
Girl, Gypsy. Heh,
Oh Lord.
you live with the
Oh, what's her
enemies.
name? Oh Lordy. And one day. What was that man? The jerk. I'm sorry. It's the ADHD. I apologize. You know what I talk about? The jerk.
Yes.
Oh Lordy.
Gypsy.
Oh,
Gypsy, be mindful of your things that you have in your house. Be mindful of your drinks that you keep in the fridge. Be mindful of food that you eat. Um, do not do, if you have a shared restroom, do not do your hair in that restroom. Make sure no strands of your hair. Be very careful of what you leave around. You gotta walk carefully with this one, okay?
something with your toothbrush. I suggest you get a toothbrush and keep it in your car. Don't
Get a
use that
cover,
toothbrush.
keep it with you. Be real cautious of what you do. Okay? And spirit's gonna make you uncomfortable until you do what you gotta do. Gypsy. All
Mhm.
right. Anything else before we
Thank
go?
you, Divine. Yes, the jerk at the end. I don't know why that came up, but I seen the white guy. What's his name? Dean Martin? No,
Dean,
Steve Martin. He was
Steve
up there
Martin.
dancing. I don't know. It's my ADHD, so I apologize because I gotta have music. But have y'all questions ready? Um, we trying to get some guests up here. Um, but until the next time,
We will. We will. So Q&A next week. Peace be with you.
bye.
Bye.